Good morning, everybody. Well, it is already hot and muggy outside. But took a Jeep ride with the family last night, ended up going past the wheat field, and night and day difference from when we last checked it. I'm not sure that it wouldn't have cut yesterday. So, got to get the final adjustments ready for this. I think this afternoon we're going to check the wheat again. Possibly move the equipment up there and see if we can't cut a sample. One of those things that you can't do one-handed. Oh, there it went. About got my face too. Okay, so this shield's got to come off. All right, under these shields, grab a flashlight. That way you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is your concave. Up in the inside of that, that's your rotor. The grain, if you don't know what a combine does, the grain comes in between the two. Then the rotor threshes the grain against your concave. And then your grain and chaff and everything, before it gets cleaned, goes down into these augers. So what we do with wheat, we've got inserts that cover these front two slots. Basically forces the grain to thresh a little longer before it can fall through. It's all fine and dandy, but I got to find those inserts. Well, 37 minutes later, 2 attempted phone calls to Dad, and a few choice words. I found them. This is what happens when you take them out from wheat last year, and you never put them up. Set in one there. One there. But now I've got to pull the covers off the other side, get them latched up, see if those will hold long enough for me to get them pulled up on the other side. Okay. 50% success. Alright. Well, those things are latched and tightened down. The only other thing I know of at the moment that this needs, this main lube filter, I already forget what the book called it, but that needs replaced. Always make sure you have the new filter before you take the old one off. Ask me how I know. 28449, got one. In case you were wondering, got to remove the plastic before you use it. The seal is all lubricated. Turn, feel it tight, and then half a turn. Yep, because that's all she's doing. And then one thing we always like to do is take a Sharpie and mark the date and how many engine hours the piece of equipment has when that filter was changed. Nothing like thinking you did a pretty good job of not making a mess until you lift the container and my catch can had a big old crack in the bottom of it. Somebody didn't throw it away when it broke last time. Don't worry, I'll do that this time. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me, I think. Alright, well, as far as I know, other than some infield adjustments, that thing is ready to go. So next thing, take this with the forks. Let's go get the bean head out. See if my garage door opener works. Aw, sweet, it does. Alright, there should be enough room between this tractor. The only thing we need to do on this bean head is I have to retension these belts. So when we're not using it, we like to take all the tension off. That way they don't stretch. There's just no need to keep them under tension when we're not using the head. So this fancy little gauge right here, you can see it's way too loose. All I have to do is take my impact on, I gotta remember which bolt it is, this one. Perfect. So that does the whole left side of the head. The one on this end does the right. Gotta be smarter than the clip though. Look at that. Nailed that one on the first try. Alright, belts are all tightened. Last thing. So these guys right here, with the sickle bar flat against the cutting edge, there should be a 20, don't quote me on this, I think I'll have to check, but I think it's 20 thousandths of a gap. So you put your feeler gauge there, and then you adjust that screw to get the right gap. So I just double checked myself on the book, and I was actually correct. 20 thousandths. And my wife says my memory's terrible. Oh, where the heck did I put that feeler gauge? Oh, there it is. Jeez. So you press down on it, and you check. And that one's a little loose. That's what we're going to run into. So just like that. One down. 37 more. Well, we finally made it up here to the wheat. And I can't hardly crack them with my teeth. So I don't think there's any question that all of this are run. Our initial goal, our plan, we're going to walk. There's a small hidden patch on the other side of that house. It's a little more surrounded by trees, but we're going to walk back and check it. But we're not sure it's even worth doing that because there's no question on all this. And at that point, we can at least cut enough to get a spot to store the equipment. So, I mean, my thoughts are if we know enough will cut, that we can at least get a couple loads and get the equipment off the road, there's no point in wasting that time going back in there.
No, I'm good.
All right, let's go get some equipment. Got the bean head hooked up to the truck. Or should I call it the wheat head? Grain head. Dad said grain head. Dad's finishing up some final adjustments on the combine specific to the wheat. We picked up Dustin on the way home. He's been mowing pastures all day while we were getting things ready. But picked him up now that we're gonna try and cut some wheat. He's swapping trucks over from all the liquid stuff from spraying, putting them back on the grain trailers. Time to get the auger cart out. So the one downfall to the track systems, they use the dirt from the field to lubricate them and keep them cool. Weird, I know. But because it was washed last fall, then put away, we have not ran that through dirt yet since it's been cleaned. And because it's a stifling 95 degrees out right now, we've got a bucket of talc, which is just a powdered lubricant that we're going to throw all inside the tracks. That way they are lubricated enough to get us to the field, where at that point, once we start spinning, they pick up dirt, they'll self-lubricate. Alright, so there's nothing real scientific about this. This is what we call talc. And literally just lather it in there. Do this other side. Then I'll pull forward, rotate the track some, and I'll hit it one more time. Notice that my gate was open as well. I'm going to shut that now before we forget about it, because that would not be fun. We'll take another bucket of talc with us. Probably stop about halfway up there and repowder them just to be on the safe side. I don't know if it'll need it, but last thing I want to do today is overheat those tracks. Alright, just topped off the def tank in the combine. Dustin is already on his way up north, and that's where I'm headed in the grain head. So we'll see you guys in probably a little over an hour up north. We are up here finally. The only problem now is wheat fields on this side. Dad's got to put the head on this side. So I've got to get this 40-foot head turned around. So this is going to be interesting. There's no place for me to make a circle. So I'm going to put you guys... Oh, that was actually already closer than I wanted it to be. I'm going to put you guys on the back of the truck, and either I'm going to prove to you that I can do it in one shot, or I'll give you guys something to laugh at when it takes me 12. Happy with that. Pull forward there at the beginning, but other than that, also helps that the wagon or the head mover is four-wheel steer. That makes a huge difference. But we're here, and now we wait on Dad. Think this will work okay?
Yeah, probably as good as anything.
And now we pull in front of him. That's all there is to that. Already had to have Mom come to the rescue. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep. Guidance doesn't work very well without the globe. We got all our initial adjustments made, and it's pretty optimistic filming the first 20 feet.
Yes, it is.
But we'll roll with it. Well, rookie mistake. We got a tank clean out on both sides. We got the other one plugged. We forgot about this side. Mom was sitting in the truck, and good thing she was. We went by her and she called me. She's like, you got wheat coming out the side of the combine. I knew instantly what she was talking about. So, we only went about 100 yards, but there'll be a nice patch of green wheat here in a couple weeks right there. So the problem with that now is that I've got enough wheat on top of the flapper that it's keeping me from shutting it. So we're gonna have to spin this around and get the grain tank empty in order to get that shut. Let's try this again. That's more like it. Okay, we can go back to cutting now. Alright, well, we finished our first pass without any more problems. Just coming out here behind the combine at the moment to check. Make sure we're not throwing an excessive amount of seed out the back. See, there's one. Oh, there's one. And you're obviously not going to get them all, so I don't see an excessive amount out here at all. Looks pretty good. May have to make a few adjustments in the settings, but pretty close to begin with, I'd say. This is the scale on the auger cart. We can connect via our phones. So when we're taking samples and all that, we know exactly what's being dumped into the auger cart. Oh, that's a relief, guys. Well, wasn't sure we were gonna break it to you, but the combine was showing on that load we were only
630.
We were only 16,200 pounds. Well, we were actually 21,650, which is a huge margin of error. So that's going to bump up our yield drastically. All right, well, we are confident enough on the moisture that we're pretty sure it's not over 15% because the elevator that we're hauling to won't take it over 15. So we're confident enough that it's below that Dad is going to continue running while Dustin and I take a couple samples back to the shop and grab semis. Alright, well, I got a full sample in the cup and I got about another full sample in my shoe, so we should have enough. That's what you get for wearing shorts. Yep, Dustin made the comment that even Dad broke out the shorts today. It's got to be hot for him to wear shorts. Let's see what these samples really are. Any guesses? How accurate do you think the combine was?
10-2.
10-2, you're going a lot drier. Combine was saying around that 13.3 range. We'll see. Ooh, right on that one. As far as I'm concerned, that's a big green light. So we're gonna go fire the semis up, give Dad a place to dump more wheat. Dad ended up catching Dustin and I shortly before we left the shop. Said the moisture was actually starting to pick up a little bit, getting up into the 16-17%. So for us, that's way too wet. Elevator won't even accept it at that. Just gonna basically load the truck with what's on the auger cart and the combine, try and get a full load out of it, and it'll give me something to take in the morning, and we'll get it out of the field. I think even though it was picking up there at the end, I think it's still got like a 13.4 average throughout everything he shelled, so this load shouldn't be an issue. Wasn't getting any better?
I didn't go another round.
Yeah, you didn't go another round. Alright, gotta get this auger cart empty. Might need that open.
You hit that pretty well.
Well guys, that's a wrap for wheat harvest day number 1. Didn't get a whole lot cut, but got it opened up, got the equipment up here, and that took some time. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Find that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.